Good morning, team, and welcome to this week's Team Mental Fitness. Our topic this morning is time management. My name is Mayowa Gold. Our opening quote: the best thing about the future is that it comes one day at a time. Abraham Lincoln. So the future is actually in every day that we spend. And to have a better understanding of time management, it will be good for us to have a good grasp of what time is. Time is life broken into tiny fragments of our existence, ranging from decades to years, to months, to weeks, to days, to hours, to minutes, and finally to seconds. So every second counts because in the long run, it sums up our life. Time management, therefore, is defined as effectively using the minutes, hours, and days available to you in order to best accomplish your goals in the most effective way. So we already have our goals set out, and one way to achieve our goals and dreams in order to have a very successful life is to actually manage our times correctly. Now, importance of time management. It boosts confidence. You know, when you have control of your time, you are sure that you can face the day's activity. And that way, everyone around you can even tell and see the confidence on you. 2, it helps in achieving your goals. If you already set your goals for the year, breaking them down into fragments of activities that can be accomplished day by day, that way, you'll be able to achieve your goals. 3, it gives a superior quality of life. Time management gives a superior quality of life. Imagine when you are able to do the necessary things you have to do, you definitely end up achieving all that you need to achieve, and that way you also end up being successful. Then it reduces expenses in daily life. This brings to mind when you are running late for work and you have to meet up with your resumption time. You might just have to take bike, and then that way you spend more, cut down on your journey just to ensure that you meet up with time. It reduces expenses, and it also reduces the risk, that is involved when you don't manage your time. Now, in still talking about importance of time management reduces stress. You don't want to keep engaging yourself in activities that will eventually drain you, and then at the end of the day, you feel drained and worn out. So if you're able to manage your time, you realize that you reduce stress. You'll be able to increase your productivity, and then you'll also be able to increase your focus on whatever task that you are doing. Because if you have so many activities on your mind, those activities will keep preying on your mind such that you lose focus. But with time management, you'll be able to focus more on whatever it is that you need to do. And then number 8, it produces more time freedom. If you already have your time planned out, more like having a timetable, you have even your free times to do some other things like meeting with relatives and being around loved ones. Tips to effectively manage time. Now that we understand the importance of time management, it would be nice for us to see the various tips that would help us to manage our times well. 1, set goals correctly. You're not just setting goals beyond your own capacity now. You are setting smart goals, relatable goals that you can actually measure and you can achieve. Now, these goals have to be properly broken down into easy steps that you can take a time per day. Track your time spent, the time that you have actually been spending over the years or over the week. To frame it down, over the week, you want to track that time and see if you have actually been able to spend so much time on some other activities and know when to make proper adjustments. Then you also have to avoid distraction. Honestly, to effectively manage time, we all have to learn the act of being disciplined enough to avoid some distractions such as social medias and the likes. Then breaking down our SMART goals. I already mentioned that we definitely need a to-do list. Sometimes you don't have to rack your brain as to how to break down your SMART goal. Just list out the things that you want to do in order to help you achieve that goal, that big dream that you have in mind. We sometimes overestimate what we can do in a day and underestimate what we can do in a year. We feel like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to achieve this year, but you tend to forget that it actually starts from every day that you spend. So breaking down your goals into little steps. Writing down your to-do list, it doesn't matter how rough it is, just put them down, and then you move on to prioritizing your tasks wisely based on their importance and urgency, and of course also their significance in the long run. Then also learn to take a break. You know, sometimes when you engage in activity for too long, you get to stress yourself, and if you are not careful, you also burn out. So it's always good to learn to take a break. And here is an example of working 25 minutes and then taking a break of 5 minutes. And also still on the topic on tips to effectively managing our time, it's also good that we set time limits on those tasks, referring to taking breaks too. You don't want to spend too long on a task. Organize yourself. If you have all your activities planned out, it's easy that way to complete whatever tasks you need to. And then please don't multitask. Multitasking actually stresses the brain. You are giving your brain too many things to do at the same time, and it increases the cortisol hormone, which is the stress hormone. And that way you are even prone to making more mistakes and delaying on your tasks. Remove non-essentials. Whatever is not important, whatever is not necessary, you can always leave it to some other time or probably delete it. Then plan ahead. For every new day, every new day actually starts in the evening, the previous day. So the evening and the morning is actually the first day. Then automate tasks. Some tasks that are not necessarily don't have to be done by you, you can actually automate them. An instance is the to-do list. You can actually put your to-do list, you know, to your reminder. That way you set out all that you need to do in your reminder. Your reminder does the reminding. You don't have to be the ones to remind yourself of whatever you need to do. You already set it to your reminder to help you automate that task. And then to explain prioritizing your tasks. Here is a task that we are giving an example: important, urgent. If it is important and it's urgent, then you have to do it. If it is important but not urgent, then you can decide when to do it. That is, you are deferring. It doesn't mean you are procrastinating. It means that you are giving another time when you can actually do it. Then, unimportant and urgent tasks, you can actually delegate them. So that means it's urgent, it has to be done, but it's not as important as you necessarily doing it. Then you can actually delegate to someone else. And this is where it's always good to have yourself organized ahead of time. Once you are organized, that way you can easily tell who to help you in doing a particular task. And also, unimportant and not urgent tasks. It's not important, it's not urgent, then you might just have to drop it. Now here is an example of a time block on how to properly manage our days. We have time blocks of what to do per day from Sunday to Friday. That's a full week. And then you decide on whatever it is, probably 1 to 2 hours per time per block, ranging on the importance of whatever you have to do. To further explain the time block, we have an example here. For example, on Monday, maybe it's a follow-up day. From 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., you want to go for breakfast, and then it's also your reading time. From 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. is your travel time and exercising, if at all you are not traveling. From 9 to 11, you check emails and do follow-ups. And then probably from 11 to 12, you are calling. Then from 12 to 1, you are taking a break or you are relaxing, and so on. So this is exactly how you can actually have a time block. A time block is also known as a timetable. I remember when we were in secondary school, and I actually attended a boarding school. So we had everything planned out. Time for breakfast, time for assembly, time for morning duties, and every other thing, prep, evening prep, afternoon prep, all planned out. And that way there is free time. We have time to do other things, to attend to our own major activities. This helps to focus, especially for people that find it difficult to focus for so long. So when you do 25 minutes of active work, then you can actually take a 5 minutes break. And then once you continue that for 4 consecutive times, you can actually stretch your break for as long as, say, 15 minutes. That way, it gives you so much joy taking off your tasks during the day. And then also set personal deadlines. The truth is, they'll give you deadlines, but it's always good to set your own deadlines ahead. That's why it's good to start beforehand. That way, you'll be able to pick on those tasks and then start them, give a break, so that you don't have to dip your neck into it for too long and then stretching yourself. Then also plan for contingencies. There are uncertainties sometimes. Something comes up and it was not part of the plan. It's always good that you put it into your time frame so that your time block or your timetable would also have time for such. There are times that you just need to have, maybe you have to see someone, it just came up without you planning it. These are contingencies time that you need to plan. So if you have questions, contributions, or something new you've learned, kindly drop them in the comment box. We'll get back to you.